Hi everybody, welcome to a new edition of Shuey's Take on Life and Sports. Two things I'm going to talk about today. One, Game 2 of the World Series. And secondly, I'm going to do my NFL picks. Just remember that I do them differently than most people do them. I just pick winners. I don't pick spreads and all that stuff. So I just pick who's going to win the game. Essentially. And I do all games. So, here we go. Start off Game 2 of the World Series. DeGrom was dominant through the first couple innings, and really once the rains came, it almost felt like the Mets had fallen apart. But the big theme about this World Series so far is the Mets have not overcome their mistakes, where the Royals do. The Mets have to score more runs than they have been. Whenever the Mets have a chance, it seems the Royals get out of it. Hopefully that changes in Citi Field. They also have to stop the defensive miscues because they're going to kill you against a team like the Royals. The Royals they make teams pay. They don't stop coming. However, I feel like the Mets needed somewhat of a beatdown to maybe wake them up a little bit. Maybe they were a little bit cocky after sweeping Chicago 4 in a row. So, maybe that's the way it is, and hopefully the day off and then going to Citi Field in front of their own fans will help the New York Mets win. That's really most of what I have to say about that. And Cueto was shaky until he got a lead. So, he's beatable. And as you know, Game 3 is at Citi Field Friday night. Noah Syndergaard, Thor against Yordano Ventura. Should be a great game. There's not much else to say about that game other than the Royals dominated when they had to, and the Mets once again can't get past their defensive mistakes and can't get past not being able to score runs when they have to. When they have chances, they have to drive in those runs. They have to. They had Cueto on the ropes. By the way, Fox Broadcasting also terrible that they are so biased when it comes to Royals. Yeah, I'm a Met fan, but I'm sure even if you're a fan of either team, you can tell that it's so biased. I mean, it really is. And or if you're a fan of neither team and you're watching this World Series, you're like, my God, they're just so on the Royals. Their broadcast is terrible. So that's another note on that. But the Mets really need to hit with runners in scoring position, score runs, and cut down on the defensive miscues. And if they could do that, they could win. Now remember, the 1986 New York Mets, who won the World Series, were also down 2-0 going into the third game. So if the 1986 Mets could do it, these Mets could definitely do it. So listen, you win 1, you win 2, you're all of a sudden tied. Who knows what happens in game 5? You could win that game, and then you could bring it home to game 6 and beat the Royals in their own park. Hey, it can be done. The Mets aren't out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Do not expect a sweep. It ain't happening. I think it's still going 6. The Mets, I believe, are going to win in 6. And that's just my personal belief. They can win. They're going to win in either 6 or 7. The Mets are going to get back on track. Watch out, Royals. The Mets are coming for you. So that's what I have to say about that. It just seemed like once the rain started to fall, DeGrom just couldn't really, throw his pitches where he wanted to. That's when he started to get a little wild and started walking people. So, and we saw once again that the Mets bullpen, not that good. So you really need Noah Syndergaard to give you a nice outing on Friday night, and I'm sure he will. So without further ado, that's my take on that, really. Besides the fact that Duda's still been hot, Murphy's still hitting, Wright's going to get it going, hopefully Granderson, get it going, and the Mets should be okay. You got to jiggle this lineup just a little bit, I feel. Maybe Granderson 1, like if you want Lagares in there, Lagares 2 maybe, and Murphy 3. And then move right down in the order. That's just my personal opinion. And maybe flip-flop Duda and Cespedes. I saw that somewhere yesterday, and it's not a bad idea. So Duda in front of Cespedes might work. Just because Duda is finally hitting. So, without further ado, here are my Week 8 picks. First game is Thursday night tonight. Miami versus New England. I have New England winning this game just because New England is they dominate on Thursday nights, and I feel like this is going to be Miami's real first test since their new coach, and it's just going to be hard for Miami to win. I'd be shocked if they win. So New England. Detroit at Kansas City. Detroit's been terrible, really. I mean, they've won a couple of games, but in Kansas City, it's going to be tough to win. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Atlanta wins that game. San Diego at Baltimore. Ravens just are not good. So I got San Diego winning that game. Minnesota at Chicago. Chicago hasn't really been that great and impressive, but neither is Minnesota. It's the game I struggle with the most, I think, to pick. So I got Minnesota winning that game. But it's really a toss-up between either team. Arizona at Cleveland. Arizona, not even a question. Tennessee at Houston, another game where you sort of got two really not good teams. I'm going to go Tennessee. And New York Giants at New Orleans. I just think the Giants are finally going to be on a roll, and hopefully they win. So, that's what I'm hoping. So that's the pick I'm going with. Also, yeah, I'm a Giant fan, but I think I'd be realistic if I didn't think they were going to win. So, that's my personal take on that. The Giants find a way to win that game. They just got to do a lot of short passes and, play good defense, and they should be okay. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. It's hard to pick against Cincinnati, especially with the Pittsburgh quarterback situation. So I'm gonna have to go Cincinnati. Seattle at Dallas. Seattle. I don't see Matt Castle beating the Seattle Seahawks after the way he played against the Giants. Green Bay at Denver. That's the Sunday night game. That's a really interesting game. So I'm going to go Green Bay. I just think that they have the better quarterback, obviously. So that means something. Even though Peyton Manning is a good quarterback, he hasn't been Peyton Manning this year. Maybe he's high-voice Peyton Manning. I don't know. But that's my personal take on that. The New York Jets are at Oakland. The Jets... The Oakland's played well. It's hard to see them beating the Jets, though. The Jets are just defensively so good. I mean, it could happen, but I'm going to go with the Jets just because defensively, it's hard to score on those guys. So we'll see. Should be an interesting game. In Indianapolis, and Carolina Monday night. I got Carolina staying undefeated. So those are my picks. Make sure you subscribe, please. That would be awesome if you would subscribe to this page, to this channel on YouTube. Hopefully I get more followers, and there'll be more videos, not just sports videos, but takes on life issues. So look forward to those too. Once again, it's Shuey's Take on channel of Yehoshua Miller, and I'll be in touch with you guys. We'll see you.